Hello, I'm Mark,
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to talk about Tesla and the vehicle segments they're in, as opposed to what they're missing out on. But first, let's roll that title card.
Missing links.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. Wanted to talk a little bit about this article that we've linked below, like we do all the articles that we talk about. This Teslarati article talked a little bit about what they felt Tesla was missing out on with what cars they produce currently, what segments they produce, and what segments they're missing. So this is something that is near and dear to my heart. I have talked exhaustively about Tesla moving into some other forms of electric vehicles, ones that are sorely missing, I believe. And Patrick and Casey are going to give us their view about what they believe Tesla should be moving in. But since I'm hosting, I am going to do the first one.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say that I feel Tesla is missing the boat when it comes to vans.
Yes.
We have so many delivery van type vehicles that drive around, so many small businesses that use vans in their daily routine, siding companies, lawn care companies, companies that are painting, companies that they're
Everything in Europe.
thousands of different companies that are uh, I'm sorry, hundreds of thousands of different companies that use or would like to use a van. I think that Tesla is missing the boat on this, and I think there's a reason why. I think the ergonomics of any van is that you're driving a huge brick when you're driving down the road if you have a van. Yes, you can make some aerodynamics at the front, but you're still pushing out a lot of air no matter what you do. You can try to make it a little bit more pointy at the front or a little blunt at the front. You can put it in the wind tunnel. But I think Tesla has stayed away from this because I think the range estimates are fairly low. And I take that based on what Ford did with their Transit, was electric for a couple of years. And I remember when they were releasing their second version of the Transit electric vehicle, I thought, great, now we're going to jump, to at least 200 miles. And no, they jumped like 15 miles from their original Transit van. So I think there's an issue when it comes to vans with them pushing air out of the way, especially when they get on a highway and they're traveling like 60 miles an hour or greater. I think the fuel efficiency of an electric battery with a van is probably what is holding Tesla back. But I still would like them to get into it because, of course, a lot of these businesses that are using these vehicles, they, of course, are just traveling locally or regionally. They're doing their jobs in their home city or their home region, and they're not really requiring a lot more range that a normal Model 3 or Y could get today. I think there is still something that can be done here, but I think range is probably why Tesla is holding off. What do you think, Casey? Do you think that does that make sense, or do you think there's something else holding that back?
It does make some sense, but if Mercedes and Dodge can do it, so Ram can do it with their existing chassis, and still gets pretty decent miles out of it. Unlike, like you mentioned, Ford's miles are not that impressive, but I think the Tesla could still do something here if Mercedes can do it. Remember the whole they said that the truck was impossible, and yet it exists. So it's not in volume production, but it exists. So if they can do it with the truck, then there's got to be some stuff left on the plate that they can do to a van, and almost everybody in Europe uses that instead of a pickup truck. So
Yeah.
this wouldn't be a bad choice to make. They're also missing, for me, I would say, a compact car, because the Model 3 is just a small car. It's not a compact car.
Right.
And they're missing something like a Miata. Not sure they need anything like that. They've eventually got the Roadster coming out. They're missing a large SUV, like a suburban type thing. Yes, the Model X has the same footprint, but it's a CUV with that curvy back that you can't put any packages in. But then that comes back to what you're saying about the van and range.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing a full-size pickup truck. I mean, yes, it's got the payload, and yes, it's got towing capacity of a 2500. They need a real heavy hauler, heavy tower in the fleet, and they're almost there. Right? And then of course the bus, small or large. They'll have completed the basics of the fleet for somebody who says that motorcycles are dangerous.
Very good, very good, Patrick. What do you think Tesla is missing their mark? They're not missing their mark. They're obviously have picked the most popular segments already. But what do you think could help them?
Yeah, you bring up some good points about a delivery van. I think it was really smart of Rivian to roll with that early, and because it was a market that Tesla hadn't touched yet. When I had my Nissan Leaf back in 2011, I saw a delivery van from Nissan that was based on the same architecture. And the Leaf only got 60 miles of range, so this little van was even less. So they didn't sell them in the US. They were only in Japan. They had one here that was on some Nissan Tour thing that was kind of interesting. So it's possible, and it depends on your use case. You have to make sure that you have the vehicle that fits your needs. Otherwise, there was a company, Smith Electric, that was doing delivery vans, and there were problems with them, and I think they're out of business now. And it was just so Tesla does things. They started with the high end. Why? Not because there were a lack of vehicles in the high end. It's because you needed to make a compelling vehicle that people would pay that price for, because things were expensive. And so then they've come down market. So I think it's the same reason that they started with the Semi for their delivery vehicles. You start at the high end. People don't expect semis to be cheap. Like you might, it's certainly an order of magnitude higher than a delivery van. So you start there, you get your deliveries working, and then after you have a long range semi, then you can go down to a delivery van. And then it would be cool if they started doing campers, that kind of stuff, an RV. An all-electric RV would be really cool. And once you have the semi truck, once you have the semi truck frame, you can then use that as the basis for an RV without redesigning everything from scratch. You can get decent range out of it, even if it's not very aerodynamic. It's going to be expensive, but high-end RVs are already super expensive vehicles. So anyway, I think you're right, Mark. They need to not get too far afield until the technology catches up with that. And right now they're focusing on the more important part of the market. Their goal is to have eventually all miles be electric miles. And so to do that, you need to hit the sweet spots of the markets, which is something like the Model Y.
Exactly, and as Casey mentioned earlier, I think the compact is something that would really open up the floodgates. But again, that problem may be demand for batteries, because if you were to get a compact vehicle on the market that was somewhat cheaper than the lowest Model 3, maybe, get it in at like $26,000. That would open yourself up to a brand new market, and it would be a large market. So maybe they would have an issue supplying batteries to that and the popular Model Y as well at the same time. That could be maybe their architecture. They're thinking behind the scenes about how we have to structure the amount of batteries that we're using based on where we see demand is and how much a new vehicle offering would put a strain on that battery supply.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, we also have the Semi going into production by the end of this year, and that uses a ton of batteries in its chassis. So that could be another
several tons.
Several tons. It's something that they certainly have put into their models, trying to figure out where they see the use of batteries coming for that particular vehicle. And again, weighing it against all the other things that they're trying to do and maintain and even grow sales in other categories. So let's turn it to our audience. What do they think is the segment that Tesla should be focusing on? The next segment. What do they believe? What do you believe would be something that would be advantageous for Tesla, and why? Put it in the comments and let us know what vehicle segment do you think they should be focusing on next. And with that, I think we'll move on to shoutouts. Let's move to Patrick first. What do you got for us?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels.
Very good. Casey?
Catch us Wednesday for the live show.
Coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern. Absolutely. And if you happen to be interested in the Tesla Summer Meetup, which is happening in Muskegon, Michigan on July 20th and 21st, please do a quick Google search on Tesla Summer Meetup for the Tesla Owners Club of Michigan. You can read all about it and grab your tickets right online from that website as well. So we will hopefully see you in Michigan. But with that said, we want to thank you for watching the show, and please give us a thumbs up on the video, press that subscribe, and through the week, if you want to see what's going on, follow us on our X feed at The Tesla Life.
Bye-bye now.